strange world.
Yes.
So, what was that? Let me pull up the tweet here. Actually, I don't feel like delving into Twitter right now.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
the tweet that keeps going around, and what's funny is I've seen people on both sides of the culture war post basically the same tweet with minor tweaks.
Yeah.
Uh, um, uh, but it's Brianna Wu from the Gamergate days made a point. Uh, made a point of saying, "Oh man, the conservatives are going to hate this movie. Openly gay, leading character, biracial marriage that, and nobody comments on it. Uh, environmental message." Even the dog's disabled. And then I saw a tweet where it's like, this movie is awful. And then they basically had the exact same bullet points.
Yeah. Oh, and Ninja Tower says, Disney way to make me not hyped for Indiana Jones 5, complete with a stupid artifact name. Yeah.
We're going to talk about that when we get to the Bob swap.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, strange what?
Yeah. So, Strange World. This movie kept getting forgotten when people were talking about major releases this fall.
Mm-hmm.
And what's also funny is that people who typically know their stuff, I swear I was listening to different podcasts and people weren't sure if it was a Pixar or a Disney Studios movie. It's a Disney Studios movie.
Yeah. I thought it was a Pixar movie.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell the difference these days. Let's see.
Yeah.
I think I have. Here we go. Didn't have the picture in the best spot. The animation style really is super generic, and I don't really like how close the characters' eyes are together.
Yeah. It's a little too uncanny valley.
Yeah, it's funny is that it's a lovingly rendered thing because this movie cost like I've heard some reports of down to 130, but the numbers reports it at 180 million to make.
Yeah.
It's at least it did report it.
It did report it. Yeah, I've been hearing 180 from a lot of people.
Yeah, I know I saw that somewhere, but even if it was 130, that's not much better.
No.
Because it's been out because of the Thanksgiving Open. It has now been out for more than a week. It has not broken 30 million worldwide.
Oof.
And there's one moment that I've heard people describe in the movie. Okay, so quick summary, because statistically not a lot of people saw this movie or had interest in it.
Yeah.
That was like if I was the type to go and bug people and poke people on Twitter, I would have said to Brianna, that would require that someone accidentally stumble into a movie theater showing it.
Yeah.
But so the basic premise is that you have these people who you have this guy who's a great toxic masculine adventurer who wants to go past the mountains and see what's out there. His son wants to be a farmer and cultivate these plants that make the electricity. And the father goes missing, and years later the plants are dying, so they're going on another expedition. And he brings along his son and the three-legged dog, and they just go out there and stumble across the dad who's been living in the wild alone for a long time. Which it's weird how many times we've been seeing that in movies lately. Aquaman and the second Ant-Man movie.
Yeah. It's come up with something a little more original, can you?
Yeah, but in the long and short of it is that they discover that the planet that they've been living on is actually a giant organism, and the plants that they've been harvesting to run their generators is some sort of cancer or something that's slowly killing the animal.
Jeez.
You might say, well, okay. Well, what's the conflict? There's no conflict in this. It's just adventure and whimsy
Yeah.
from everything I've heard. And here's where I was getting into myself. Here's where I was getting into it. The the funniest thing to me is that they actually have a scene where the father, grandfather, and son are sitting around playing some sort of board game,
I've heard
uh,
this. Yeah.
and the and they're like arguing about, well, yeah, we got to have a villain. Nah, you don't need a villain. And it's so funny when you have something that's not doing a good job financially, like be high and mighty about its bad creative choices.
Yeah.
Because if you want to do the premise of, oh, they find out they're living on a giant organism,
Mhm.
um, make someone the bad guy. Like like
Yeah.
it would be preachy as all get out to do that, but it's like, just have like a corrupt also the mayor is a woman of color, so I guess you couldn't have the mayor be a villain.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
But
You
because
could
then
have, yeah,
rules.
you could have like an industrialist, you know.
Yeah, like why didn't they have an industrialist who was like, oh yeah, we've increased plant production 45% this year, and
It was probably because it's too much like Avatar.
yeah, man, they just accidentally are keep Venn diagramming their movies this year.
Yeah, yeah. Ninja Toy says Captain Planet is more subtle.
I don't know about that. There's some pretty
Yeah,
those
it could be.
episodes of Captain Planet.
Yeah, yeah.
But man, it's just kind of make a Hispanic industrial like Namor from Wakanda Forever. God, Wakanda Forever's story just sounds stupid from everything I've heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I will not be wasting my time or money on it.
Yeah. Again, I would rather go see Avatar 2 just because I suspect it's gonna bomb horribly compared to its budget, and I'm morbidly curious. Okay, does it
Yeah,
actually earn its 3 hour runtime? How much is it like the first movie? How bad is this thing?
yeah.
But also, this movie is eating it internationally.
Mhm. Because of the gay character, the
Mhm.
Middle East and parts of Asia and
Yeah,
aren't showing it, and Russia isn't showing it. Yeah,
yeah.
so
I mean, there are countries out there where, like Latin American countries, where they showed Lightyear, but they actually had a warning on, like, pasted up on the thing, like, warning this movie contains identity politics.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
So, yeah. Now, I think that we might be seeing what the actual market is for this type of thing.
hmm
Which, if this was like a $5 million independent movie, this would be amazing results for it.
yeah, but no, it's a uh, almost a $200 million animated movie that. Oh yeah, don't forget Africa. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's the new. It's either going to be as bad as Pluto Nash or another Disney movie that bombed horribly that everybody has forgotten about. Mars Needs Moms.
like Treasure Planet. People actually like Treasure Planet. Those who saw it, I remember enjoying it.
Yeah, I liked it too. Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised that movie bombed. I think it came out at a really bad time.
It, yeah, between it and Atlantis, it was kind of like Disney was trying to go a little bit more sophisticated and adult, and the market
hmm
just said no, we like the CGI stuff better.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Now, if we compare, now here's the funny thing: if we compare it last year to Encanto, Encanto, for as much as people couldn't shut up about it 6 months ago, actually not all that successful in the box office.
Yeah.
Because it also, yeah, it cost 150 million to make, and
Jeez.
if we bring out our old friend the calculator, if you get roughly half of your take,
Mm.
230, um, it would be $35 million behind its production budget alone
Oof.
before marketing.
Wow.
Now, it's Now you could argue, okay, but yeah, they probably made they probably billions of Spotify listens because people wouldn't stop talking about Bruno here.
Mm-hmm.
They 10 million on uh, 10 million on Blu-ray DVD. The impact it likely had on Disney Plus subscribers, though that isn't net profitable either, so it's not real money.
Yeah.
Digital things like that, it might have crossed some sort of line by now, but it just again it kind of shows the folly of putting these movies and making it clear in advance. Yeah, we're going to Disney Plus in 30 days.
Yeah.
But also, you know what else Encanto didn't have? A villain.
Ah.
Not really. Like the villain was generational conflict, and the grandma was kind of mean to our plucky heroine here.
Oh.
You know what's funny to me about that? You've noticed that people freaking love Disney villains, right? Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like Captain Hook and Maleficent and
yeah, Scar,
Scar.
Jafar. Oh, Jafar's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jafar. Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't you want to make more of them? I almost wonder if I've wondered a couple of times if Disney is actually afraid of competing with themselves at this point.
Hmm.
So, but here's what I mean by that. So I've done the thought experiment before. Okay, so why do we only have the one Black Disney princess? Why do we only have the one Native American Disney princess? Why do we only have the one Asian Disney princess?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why does it seem like the production of new Disney princesses has abruptly stopped? Why hasn't Amy Adams' character from Enchanted not been added to the roster?
Yeah. Or Princess Leia. Or Princess Leia, I think, is in there.
Uh,
Can't
well,
remember.
so I'm thinking like
But
if you go to your party store and go
oh
to
yeah.
like you look at the stuff for a Disney princess party, you're probably going to see um, Adora. What was her name from Aurora? From
Sleeping Beauty.
yeah,
Aurora. Yeah.
Aurora. You're probably going to see Aurora, Cinderella,
Snow
um,
White.
Snow White as kind of the Betty Rubble.
Yeah.
Um, then you'll see Mulan, uh,
Ariel.
Ariel, Tiana. Um, I know I'm leaving a couple up, but not too many out.
Yeah. Ninja Toast says, we can't have new Disney princesses until Xenomorph Queen becomes. No.
Now the face, if you go with the life cycle, the face hugger would technically be the Disney princess looking for her man.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Yeah.
So, but let's imagine that you have a paper plate that you're going to have at the kid's birthday party.
Mhm.
That paper plate that you've printed up is probably already full.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's say that you did a new Disney movie, let's say you did a new Disney movie based on, like people were suggesting, pull on some African folk tales. Okay, you have a new Disney princess based on, I don't know, you can do something with Ashanti. People like spider imagery, so.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have the princess who has the princess who saves her people from the trickster god Ashanti or goddess Ashanti. I forget which, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you boot Tiana off of the plate? Does Tiana take Aurora's place? What about do you kick out Pocahontas?
Ooh.
That you have some hard choices, and there's not a good answer there because people do love Sleeping Beauty. People do love Ariel. People do love. I don't know. Pocahontas seems to have been kind of forgotten.
Yeah.
But she still has. She's there because she checks the box.
Yes.
So if you come up with a new Disney, or let's say that you had a new Disney princess, you'd also probably have a couple of them from Frozen these days on the paper.
Yeah. Ninja Tove, mentions here. Yeah, Elsa and Anna.
Yeah. Oh, and you might have Rapunzel these days too.
Oh, Rapunzel. Yeah.
But okay, who do you boot off? Are you better off just saying, okay, the Disney princess canon is complete, we're not adding more? I wonder if that's
Yeah.
the choice that they've made, and I almost wonder if they've gotten to the same place with villains. Like
Yeah.
so, like, okay, well, if we do a Disney princess or if we do a Disney villain thing, okay, who do we kick off of the paper plate? Do we not have Captain Hook there?
Yeah.
Well, what if little Billy's favorite movie is Peter Pan, and he really like, I want to have a Disney villain themed one, and oh, where's Captain Hook? Mommy,
Yeah.
where's Captain Hook?
Hmm. Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it's also like, even as much as Disney doesn't know what the hell to do with the Muppets, they're probably not. They probably wouldn't be open to selling them off, because a successful Muppet franchise under a different company is a threat. A stagnant Muppet franchise under them still gets them some royalties from people watching the old stuff.
Right. Yeah, and Disney has way too many properties,
Mm-hmm.
uh and it's not, Muppets isn't the only one that franchise they don't know what to do with. I mean, it's pretty clear they don't know what they're doing with Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they had a good thing with Marvel, and then they blew it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
But
yeah.
but Daniel, Marvel Phase 4. There's no point to Marvel's Phase 4, says Variety, but it doesn't need one. But I think that's a good time to get off of the topic of kicking strange worlds while it's down
Yeah,
and
yeah.
move on to the Bob swap.
Yes, the great Bob swap of 2022. Yeah, Ninja Toast says public domain should be expanded and strictly enforced.
There's cases for and against it. Like,
Yeah,
think of the one thing that's public domain is the Wizard of Oz. And when was the last time somebody did something meaningful with the Wizard of Oz? In theory, any studio out there could go make, and they have, go make their own Wizard of Oz thing. But
yeah, yeah. It's well, and like Sherlock Holmes is another one. I mean, how many Sherlock Holmes movies and shows have we had in the last few years? Like,
Sherlock Holmes has been way more. It's been way more active than the other
yeah,
one.
yeah. Tin Man. Oh, Tin Man. Is that was that sci-fi? Was that a sci-fi show?
I
Yes, it was.
uh,
Uh, yeah, it was on the Sci-Fi Channel. I think it was a mini series.
hmm,
It was like it was the Wizard of Oz, but with like a sci-fi action bent to it.
okay.
Yeah,
So that's probably the last major thing for there. But yeah,
yeah,
public domain isn't always the best thing for some properties.
yeah.
But
So